सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप.
There's another bizarre story that came in when we were told that the Federation of Indian Pilots has objected to the Aircraft Accident Investigations Bureau summons of Captain Varun Anand. He's a pilot. He's with Air India, but he's totally unrelated to the Air India 171 crash, except for being a relative of the deceased pilot in command, Captain Sumeet Sabharwal. The Federation of Indian Pilots says that why are you catching someone or summoning someone for being a relative of Captain Sabharwal, who was in charge of Air India 171? Is this an attempt at somehow trying to blame the pilot by harassing the pilot's family?
Top pilot's body, the Federation of Indian Pilots, has sent a legal notice to the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau objecting to the summoning of Captain Varun Anand in the AI 171 crash probe. The FIP said that the AAIB failed to specify the legal basis for questioning Captain Anand and was going against norms. The FIP says that Captain Anand has no professional or operational link to the ill-fated flight and was being summoned solely because he is related to late Captain Sumeet Sabharwal, the pilot in command of the Air India 171 aircraft. The Investigation Bureau has been warned that calling relatives of deceased pilots risks undermining the credibility of the investigation. Not the first time that pilots have been targeted in this probe. Captain Sabharwal's father had earlier knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court. Post the release of the preliminary report, he had said that there was a concerted attempt made to tarnish the image of his son. Why is the AAIB after a pilot's relative with zero involvement in the crash? Is this a deliberate attempt at defaming pilots? And can the AAIB specify the legal basis for the summons?
Isn't this suspicious, Captain Minu Wadia? I'm told here that Captain Varun Anand is a nephew of Captain Sumeet Sabharwal. He's just a nephew. Why is the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau summoning him in connection with the Air India 171 crash? What do you think? Captain Minu Wadia, welcome. Parvez Damania, former director Kingfisher, founder of Damania Airways, Captain Ehsan Khalid, veteran Indian Air Force pilot, and Captain C.S. Randhawa, who's the president of the Federation of Indian Pilots. Before I come to you, Captain Randhawa, Captain Minu Wadia, your thoughts first.
It's very simple. I think it should be clear to everyone. First of all, if you wanted to know the background or some shortcomings of the pilot, that could have been investigated almost immediately after the crash, within days of it. Why is it after so many months, someone has woken up? What they are now trying to do is find some loopholes in the whole investigation where they can pin some problems with the pilots or with India or the Indian investigation team. The simple thing is this investigation has been going on for months, and I do not understand why. Normally, investigations do take time when there are multiple agencies to be investigated and found out. Here, it is only a matter of a 30-second flight, and all the information is available at the DFDR. The simple problem was the engines failed because of fuel starvation. Now, why did that happen? That is the only thing that is to be determined. Why does it take months and months? First of all, is the team competent? Do they have some specialist in accident investigation in the team itself? So I can see very clearly from the day one, it was clear that the pilots were not responsible for this accident at all, not even 1%. So therefore, trying to find out something about the pilots at this late stage is only looking for loopholes or some way where they can pin a blame on the Indian authorities or the pilots itself. No. Otherwise, there's no other reason.
Why call the nephew? Parvez Damania, why call the nephew? What does the nephew of Captain Sabharwal have to do with the investigation into the crash?
The nephew of Captain Sabharwal has absolutely nothing to do with this investigation.
Then why is he being called?
If they wanted to call, they could have called their operations manager or the examiner. No, I don't understand why they've called. And Arnab, if you see the initially investigation report, they very detailed, in a very detailed way, ruled out everything. Whether fuel quality, one by one they've ruled out everything. That leaves the doubt. If you see the initial investigation report, Meenu, you will also understand. So the only grey area left is the pilot. Only thing they've said, the pilot said, did you switch off? No, I did not. So I think somehow they are trying to pin this on the pilot. Or you have to understand one thing, that one side there is Boeing, there is GE, there is Honeywell who manufactured the switch, and there is Air India. And on the other side is Captain Sabharwal's father and the Pilot Federation. It's a completely mismatched fight. So I think if the government, instead of looking at the performance of the Boeing, the aircraft, the engine, the switch that cut off the fuel, they are looking at more detail of the pilot. And this is indirect way of pinning the problem on the pilot. So, see, today if the problem is identified as the problem is the Boeing or problem with the switch, immediately the insurance will move their hands up, you know. So I think the easiest way to pin the fault is on the pilots, who's no more and cannot protect himself, cannot do anything about the situation. The whole investigation is targeted in such a way, so they take it out as human fault.
This is the point here, viewers. What is being said here tonight, and we must listen to what is being said very carefully. You see, viewers, if people have decided that we have to blame the pilot, say the pilot was distracted, the pilot was suicidal, the pilot was carrying out a kamikaze mission, the pilot was having psychological issues, they can make up any Alice in Wonderland story. If they have decided that if we blame Boeing, then General Electric will be affected, Honeywell will be affected, Air India will be affected, the total market capitalization of these companies on one side, and the pilot's family on the other. Now, you want to get the pilot. You obviously want, the pilot is dead, you can't get him, so you get the pilot's nephew. And then you want to, because the pilot's nephew, poor fellow, is also working for Air India. So he'll be scared to keep his job, put pressure on him and extract something out of him which you can use to put the blame on the pilot, is the thing. So somehow reverse engineer the whole process is what is being said by Parvez Damania, right? Reverse engineer it. We have decided to blame the pilot.
Correct, absolutely correct.
हमको Boeing को बचाना है. This whole same Boeing operation going on.
In such a way.
This is so crazy. This is so bad. So bad and so unfortunate. And people are not talking about it. Captain Ehsan Khalid, before I come to you, Captain Randhawa, it's getting very obvious now that they want to save Boeing anyhow. They want to blame the pilot. They're not finding a way, clearly.
Absolutely right, Arnab. We've been quite fed up with the way the investigations have been carried out by the AAIB, and they have been insinuating the Sabharwal family right from the word go. In August, they sent AVM Gaur, who's Air Vice Marshal Gaur, retired doctor from the Indian Air Force, and Dr. Sugandha, on the pretext of, condolence, they go there and they start investigating, which we have objected in the Supreme Court also. And now this is the new case where they have intimated the airlines. They have not interacted directly with the pilots. They have interacted through the airline, and the airline, like Air India, has given the summons to Captain Varun Sabharwal to go and attend the proceedings with the AAIB.
But why? Why?
The reason is they want to target the pilots. It is very, very obvious.
This man is only a nephew. He was not flying the plane. He had nothing to do with Air India 171. He's the nephew.
He is nowhere concerned with any type of operation. He is not even a witness. And on what pretext can the AAIB summon him? neither the Annex 13 of...
And they're calling
ICAO
other family members also, I'm told.
Yes, yes.
So they are obviously trying to prove that there is something wrong with Captain Sabharwal, that he deliberately crashed the plane.
You see, on the other hand, you see, one is Captain Varun Sabharwal and his brother's wife, who's flying for Indigo. She has also been summoned. See,
brother's wife, who's?
Varun Sabharwal's brother's wife. The other nephew of Captain Sumeet Sabharwal and brother of Varun Sabharwal, his wife, she's from Indigo. She
flying.
was also summoned.
She's
but
flying.
Indigo refused to intervene in the matter.
No,
However,
she flies.
India,
she flies.
Running, jumping.
She's a pilot.
Yes.
So,
yes.
What is going on, viewers? What is the Civil Aviation Minister of the central government doing? You have family members of Captain Sabharwal who are pilots who are being called to quote-unquote testify. Testify for what, Captain Khalid?
Yeah, this is a modern era witch hunt, right? In witch hunt, you first of all identify that this is the person to be hanged, and then you collaborate evidences that this person is a witch.
Experts,
right?
The modern era witch hunt.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is what is happening. In first 48 hours, the AIB and Boeing and Honeywell had come to a conclusion that it was suicide. After few months, AIB has not been able to go away from that thought process, and they are still trying to prove what Boeing and Airbus thought on the first day. Here, the thing is that, fine, there is a nephew who is in the Air India. What about other pilots who don't have nephew? That means, AIB will not have tools of investigation for people whose relatives are not working in the airline. What kind of a tool is this? Right? That you would go. So here it seems that, AIB has not been able to find any reason to blame the pilot.
Oh my God.
And now they are going in a ballistic manner in trying to find out people who can be influenced.
Captain, one minute. Who is the Captain Wadia and Captain Randhawa? AAIB reports to whom?
AIB reports to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and the point is they do not have the expertise itself. If you go by the Annex 13 and the ICAO doc, these members who are there in the AIB, they do not.
No, but
how have they been certified
if the people of India feel that what is happening is very wrong. First of all, Captain Sabharwal is no more. He died in the crash, and now all his family is being troubled and harassed, so that somebody can make up a story that he was responsible for the crash. People are angry. People are calling right now, Mr. Wadia. What do people do? Who do they question?
Wasn't it very clear right from the beginning, from day one itself, if you analyze the American specialists, supposed to be accident analysis specialists who came on TV, and said, we know exactly what happened. The pilot, instead of putting the gear up into the flat side.
Yeah.
Some people have said some weird things from the American agencies and the media. It was evident from the day one that they wanted to protect Boeing and protect America. In fact, I have said it on national TV, I wouldn't be surprised. The price to be paid by America itself and Boeing is so high that I wouldn't be surprised if even Donald Trump himself comes to get involved in this investigation, because the cost of this inquiry is going to be phenomenal for Boeing. They need to find out why the engines failed and not what the pilots did. There is whatever you.
The parliamentary panel on civil aviation. Where is the civil aviation minister? Why doesn't the PMO intervene in this? Why doesn't the government intervene and say this is not right? Come on, somebody has got to be able to do something, right? Parvez Damania? Somebody's got to be able to step in, right? And say, no, don't do this.
This Accident Investigation Board is supposed to be independent, but in reality, they report to the Ministry of Civil Aviation. the Ministry of Civil Aviation can always pull them up and say, no, this is not the way the investigation is going. Meenu, you will agree that in America, when these investigations are done, it's an open door investigation. At every stage, the investigation reports are put up for the public. In India, it's not so. In India, it's a closed door investigation. The report that will be given to the public is what ultimately the aircraft accident board decides. So ultimately, they will decide the findings. Boeing will be there, part of it. GE will be there. Honey will be there. Air India will be there. And they will decide the final report of the findings. And that will be given to us, and we will all have to take that and keep quiet. That's all. So there is no outside body that's going to be involved.
I really think I'll have to close here. But this is unfair. This is bad. This is wrong. Now, I tell you this, Captain Randhawa, we're going to stick our neck out as usual and question this one. We need all the help we can from the people. This is wrong. Civil Aviation Minister must not allow this. The government must not allow this. Ladies and gentlemen, 9 p.m. tonight, Mamata Banerjee got slammed in court. But it's not about Mamata Banerjee being slammed in court. It's about the anarchy that she wants, the anarchy that she has come to represent.
For a quick breather, Arnab will be right back with the debate.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।